We are exploring today at the Little Rock National Cemetery in Little Rock, Arkansas, where Wreaths Across America has put a wreath on almost every grave in order to honor the veterans that are buried here at the Little Rock National Cemetery. I'm going to tell you more about this effort later on in the video and also tell you about ways in which you can participate. Look at this. This is pretty impressive. Not only the cemetery itself and the symmetry in which the gravestones are aligned, but also the wreaths that are leaning against the headstones here. There are more than 25,000 graves in the Little Rock National Cemetery, and with that it has reached capacity and only spousal burials are possible. Here in the front, close to the gate, is an administration building with offices, and there you can inquire about the location of specific graves if you have a loved one buried here. And there's also a plaque in honor of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to the United States of America and the families they left behind. The sacrifice will not be forgotten. Here in the entrance area they have a mosaic of the seal of the Department of Veterans Affairs here in the hallway of the administration building, and also a gravesite locator, although I did not try out how that works. And here are the 5 seals of the 5 armed forces of the United States: the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and of course the Coast Guard. And here, once you exit the building, you will find a map of the cemetery, so you can find the area in which your grave that you want to visit is located. And there's a little plaque that informs you that the National Cemetery has been added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1996. In this area here, with the flat markers, they put the wreaths just in front of the marker. Wreaths Across America is a non-profit organization, and their goal is to put a wreath onto every grave where a veteran is buried. And you can participate by either sponsoring a wreath at $15 a piece, or you can volunteer to put the wreaths up, and you can also invite your friends. Go to Wreaths Across America and find out what your preferred option is to help with this effort. Coming up here is the Minnesota Monument. In memory of her soldiers here buried who lost their lives, it reads on the marker, "In the service of the United States in the war for the preservation of the Union, Anno Domini 1861 to 1865. So this is a monument for Union soldiers who died in the Civil War. And it's also decorated with a wreath. The Civil War was what started the establishment of national cemeteries all over the country. The United States government was confronted with an unexpected number of Union Army soldiers dying in the war, and they needed to implement a system to bury them. Here is an area with unknown graves. There are about 2,500 unknown soldiers buried here at the cemetery. So, to come back to the establishment of national cemeteries, the government required the military leaders to keep track of the deceased and to bury them with headstones reading their names. Here are a few graves without a wreath. They possibly did not raise enough money. I'm not sure if you knew. If you're a veteran, your spouse or spouses in this case, because he remarried, are entitled to a burial there too. And the coffins are buried on top of each other in the same grave, and the service member's name inscribed on one side of the grave marker and the spouse or spouses on the other. Norman L. Hughes, Technical Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II. Here close to the entrance area there's a little creek running through the cemetery, and there is also a pavilion to hold a service, and this is a good vantage point to see the many graves, more than 25,000 graves here at the cemetery. This is the flag plaza, and the stars and stripes are flying in the wind. You see the dark clouds. It's a gloomy day and it's pretty windy. There's a wreath set up as a decoration here as well. If you want to participate in this ongoing effort, go to wreathsacrossamerica.org and decide if you want to sponsor any number of wreaths or volunteer to put them up. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And rest in peace to all the souls interred here at the National Cemetery in Little Rock, Arkansas.